How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome to a brand new feature match, an online feature match this time around. This is round 3 of a 32-man online tournament I entered in a few weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago, with some other Yu-Gi tubers in it, Legacy Crusaders, Yu-Gi-Oh Tube, Team Cog, just to name a few. This is my round 3 match. I recorded all 5 Swiss rounds, so those will be going up over the next week or so. And in this matchup here, it might be hard to tell what I'm playing against already. I mean, of course, you've seen the title and thumbnail, but you wouldn't have been able to tell Sky Striker right away, because I don't recall the last time Striker, Foolish Burial, Pot of Desires to start things out. It's usually something more along the lines of, the Metal Foes Fusion. But either way, it's the classic ending here, post-engage. Basically just getting a Shizuku, a Ray in the graveyard, just to resolve that Shizuku in the end phase to go ahead and grab a Search to make a play next turn, and hope that your defenses are enough to hold off to get your engine off the ground. Because if Sky Striker can survive the very early game, I feel like they can start to grind it out, much like they were used to. Things are a lot slower because of the lack of engage. But as you can see here, opening Nibiru in my first hand isn't the greatest card to have, but I do top deck the sweet World Legacy Whispers, the sweet Whispers in this matchup. You know, I was actually joking before I drew my card for turn. I'm like, how great would it be if I drew Whispers for turn in this particular matchup? And lo and behold, it is the 6th card that I draw. So that'll allow me to, of course, negate any spell that activates in the same column as a Mekk Knight. Now attempting to get purple off of this World Legacy's memory, and it's going to attempt to activate the effect here. Hoping he doesn't have anything for it, because if he doesn't, I'll go for Blue Sky to go for Girsu to sort of snowball advantage from there, and try to really close this game out right here in this particular turn. But there is an impermanent, so now I'm met with a bit of a crossroad here. Do I make the conservative play and move Indigo over and summon yellow, which, spoiler, is what I end up doing? Or another play I could have made was to link both Indigo and purple off, to go from Morningstar to discard the yellow to get something like Memory, or Secrets rather, and just try to play the grind game right there alongside him. But I decide I want to get as much pressure onto the field as I can. I know that once I kill the Shizuku, the Ray is going to come out, and once they attack the Ray is going to tag into something else immediately. Most likely a Kaina to try to slow things down as per usual. But either way, you can see me checking my extra deck here. I'm debating whether or not I go for Lib, because again, I do know for a fact I do have World Legacy Whispers set to my side of the field, and he doesn't know that. That's probably the most powerful thing about it being in the position that it is. He does not know it's there. Unlike any other card I would get off Morningstar or Lib, he knows that card is there. He knows where it is. He knows to watch out for it. But of course, the Whispers is a card I was able to open, and therefore it remains hidden to him until it is activated. So as you might have expected, battle phase rolls around. I run over the Shizuku, and of course Ray hits the field. And Ray will tag out an attack declaration from yellow, and tags into none other than the Sky Striker Ace Kaina, and that of course is going to target the one I haven't attacked with yet, that Mekk Knight of the Yellow Star. So I still have a few options here main phase 2, to try to go for a Lib. I was very much contemplating Lib because I already have that World Legacy card in the grave, and of course the option to potentially activate Avarice in the end phase 2, or not in the end phase, but in the main phase 2 to try to get some more draws. But I try to just, play it as conservatively as I possibly can, try to let him run into World Legacy Whispers himself by depending on where he plays his first card. But no, something completely different happens here. He's going to normal summon Effect Veiler, link that off with Kaina to go none other than the Halka Fibrax, and he's going to try to do full combo here. I had no idea that this play was going to happen, but it's I think it's a pretty common play now in any deck that can play Effect Veiler. The classic Needle Fiber summons out Effect Veiler, no Jet Synchron, no O-Line, just going straight for Effect Veiler, specifically because it is a spellcaster. So that when you go into Selene, and I believe there are 3 spells total in the graveyards, you can revive I think it may be a level 4 lower spellcaster from the grave, and just go ahead and bring that Valor back to essentially create a very easy access code talker play with 2 pops, and then access code will gain 3000 attack because Celine is a link 3. So this is where I made the mistake. I knew this play was coming 100%, but what I forgot about is the effect that, you know, you can't respond to any of Access Code Talker's effects, and the first effect happens on summon, so I wasn't even able to Nibiru on summon because his effect activates on summon, and then he's going to go ahead and basically clear my 2 Mekk Knights here for free, so that was a bit of a misplay on my behalf. I do fully admit that. I should have used it once that effect Veiler was summoned back off the Celine. I got a little greedy though and decided to hold it for later on. But of course, I can still use it here as he decides to leave the main phase 1 and enter the battle phase. So of course, before he goes any further, I'm going to be like, here friend, hold this big fat rock. And I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a free column because why not? So that, of course, token placed in that same column there. I still have an Avarice set as well. So actually being even more closer to being live than it was the previous turn. And I've got myself a column set up for my Purple Nightfall to go into the next turn. And I've got a big level 11 monster that I can link up into you-know-what to hopefully secure the game even harder. Of course, talking about none other than the Blackluster Soldier Link himself. So I think he enters main phase 2 here. He's going to activate multi-roll, and he plays it smart in the same zone that the Nibiru is in. So I, of course, cannot turn it off with multi-roll, even if I were, or turn it off with Whispers, even if I were to have an extra Mekk Knight. But he has quite a few extra cards here in main phase 2. You know, the Hornet Drones, both powerful one-ofs being played here. Hornet Drones for Kagari. And you know, luckily enough for me, I still have a 2-card column on his behalf because of where he's placing that Kagari, so long as he makes the Shizuku there as well. So he adds back, and then he does summon the Shizuku there, which, I mean, it's not the biggest mistake on his behalf, so long as if he's able to easily fire off what other card is beneath the Shizuku. But I can't remember exactly what it was. This match, I think, happened about a week ago from when I'm recording this. So end phase for jamming waves, and I believe he might have added back Hornet Drones off of the Kagari. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, I top deck the World Legacy Key here, so a pretty decent card, but not right now at the moment, simply because it's Sky Striker, right? I mean, they do play a little bit more traps now, and if anything, it's going to be like something like there can be only one. If anything mained, but it is a Widow Anchor there, so he is able to fire that off pretty easily. But again, I'm able to sort of rebuttal and have the Whispers to turn it off to make sure that my purple will go through. So I kind of just got lucky there. That's where he decided to play his you know, Widow Anchor, and that's also where he decided to give me a free column. And I also happen to have Whispers. So I play Key now, and I play Key in the wrong spot here. This was a slight misplay as well. I should have just put it in the zone that his Shizuku was in, because that would have just been a guaranteed column, especially now that that Widow Anchor is no longer occupying that spell and trap zone. So that was a bit of a misplay on my behalf. And of course, also, that Nibiru is boosted up by 1,000 attack and defense thanks to World Legacy Whispers. And he's going to go ahead and shotgun now that Shark Cannon, and he's going to banish Yellow Star out of the grave, which I guess is important. Take that from me, so I don't clear any more of his back row. But he basically removed a column for me and then gave the column right back. But I guess, I mean, the best spot for him to summon that would have been in the zone that my Nibiru is in, but he didn't do that. So I'm not entirely sure what the thought process was there. But I guess either way, if he does that, he still creates the column regardless with the multi-roll. So I guess he's just kind of in a rough position either way. So I guess it 100% didn't matter. Maybe 90% didn't matter. But either way, we're going to link it into the lib. That's going to go ahead and get me the succession set to the field, allowing me to activate it. And of course, that's going to allow me to bring back the World Legacy World Armor. And then from there, I can search that World Legacy's memory to sort of snowball the advantage even further. So one thing I still have to worry about is the Ray in his graveyard. I'm looking at BLS Link here in my extra deck because I do believe that if I were to go into the BLS Link, not only would I be able to remove a card because of Lib, the World Legacy Key Master, but I'd be able to run over something like my yellow star, put that back into my grave. Yeah, so that is that. I think that's like the play 100%. So we go into the BLS Link, which is just such a fantastic card of its own right in this particular matchup. Lib's gonna shuffle back that multi-roll, so huge play there. And then I got a Pot of Avarice as well to resolve, just to go ahead and replenish the resources and get a couple additional draws in the process. Pick up Secret and Crow, which is just fantastic. I should have crowed the Ray right here because I'm not able to use the Crow, I believe, in damage calc, because when the effect of Ray would happen. So you can see me here contemplating on what effect to activate. I wasn't 100% sure that if I chose the Banish effect, you know, like Ray would be on the board yet. But I just decided to use the 4,500, you know, or the 1,500 attack boost. But I guess by the way it would have resolved, Ray would have hit the board first, and then I could have resolved it and banish it if he decided to bring it back. But either way, I make it gain 1,500 because now it's a 4,500 monster that cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. He's going to summon out Zeke, and he makes a mistake here because I guess he wasn't aware that he couldn't target the BLS Link. So he actually asked me, you know, if there was a way he could go back and, you know, undo, you know, committing to the effect of Zeke, which he's actually not able to do. And he ends up banishing his own Zeke as a result. But like, I don't think there's too much my man could do in this position either way, since I do have the ability to essentially negate the next 4 spells he plays. I can turn off monster spells and traps at this point, and also have a DD Crow to spare in the grave for the Ray. So I'm feeling very confident right now, especially with that Blackluster Soldier on the field and a purple in hand, ready to go get Girsu next turn. So he's going to play that Jamming Waves to try and stop me. Try to clear some back row anyways, because the second effect of Jamming Waves doesn't target, but I mean, it still destroys. So my BLS Link is still safe regardless. And I go to summon purple here, and that is going to go ahead and get negated. So I end up saving the replay there for a later date. I'm going to go ahead and side deck in here some Cosmic Cyclones and some Heavy Storm Dusters as my only main side deck choice. I was going to go with the Sanctums, but I decided I really wouldn't need that, and I think just having the Dusters and the Cosmics would be enough. My side deck needs a lot of changing going forward, but I think it's pretty good as it stands. But I do want to mention a quick shout out to our sponsor over at Imperium Duelist. They've just come out with some brand new dice themed after some classic spells and traps, as you see here. And if you want to pick them up and help support the channel, you can do so by using that discount code WINNERKILLS10 off at checkout, and you get 10% off your entire order on all things on their site: playmats, dice, sleeves, etc., etc. So that would be greatly appreciated. Of course, if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, do not forget to use that first link down in the description below, that affiliate link to TCG. Any revenue generated from your purchase, a small bit of that will go back into the channel, and of course it does go a long way, so feel free to use it anytime you might be picking something up on TCG Player. But we're here in game 2, and he opens up 3, or he opens setting 3, and I have a double Crow, Valor, Nibiru in my hand, so a very weird hand to, you know, his set 3 board. He flips up There Can Be Only One on the summon of purple. So at this point, you know, I just decided to play it super safe, kind of like calling his bluff. Like, if he has an out to this, you know, he has an out, but can he stop as it is purple beatdown? And as he passes here, you know, into my turn again, I just go right into battle phase. Poke for 25. Like, if you've got something to stop it, you've got something to stop it. And it may be something he might not even want to use at the moment. So he's got 5k life or 3k life left. He's on a 2-turn clock here to try to draw something good. And I do again have DD Crows and Valor and Nibiru for any rebuttal he might have. He goes for the Foolish Burial Goods here, dumps the Desires as he did game 1, and then he ends his turn once more. I pick up Cosmic Cyclone. Still, I do not have any reason to commit to more of a play than I have had. The 2 other back row he's had set at this point he has not activated, so I assume they are either useless in this situation or bluffs in their own So I swing in again for 25. It's going to drop him down to the 500 mark. Unfortunately, I don't have enough in a normal summon to push for that extra 500 damage. Crow and Valor, unfortunately, aren't strong enough to finish the game out, but next turn, 100% will be able to. And the Cosmic, I'm feeling good about the Cosmic too, because I'm absolutely saving it for like a Mystic Mind or something like that. He plays a multi-roll here, which is interesting. And I believe he ends up using multi-roll here to try to send off a card. Now, I am currently figuring out, you know, what if he has, what if he just drew like a good striker spell, like Anchor or whatever it may be. At this point, this is my last chance to be able to respond directly to his striker spells because of the effect of multi-roll. So this is where I decide I am going to go in and use my purple effect to try to get it off the board in time to grab something like Girsu, because Girsu is a machine, and I'd be able to follow up with a normal summon of Girsu next turn alongside having my purple Nightfall come back. But he is forced to use a Widow Anchor right there, and I actually don't know if that would let multi-roll resolve, since it wasn't able to send that card off, you know, based on the way the Chain Link resolved. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, he'll set an additional card here, and he did brick pretty bad, as you see him type there in the chat, which is unfortunate. You hate to see it, but that is how that game ended up playing out. My hand was pretty stacked there for any other plays he might have had. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, 100%. And, yeah, don't forget to join Discord. Follow me on Twitch. I may be hosting my very own online tournament, like a 32-man tournament through Discord. So, I'm going to take a little while to sort of write up the details for that. But if it's something that interests you remotely and you're not in Discord, I recommend joining Discord as well. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winner Kill sign out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And lastly, of course, I want to give a shout out to my Divine level channel members here on YouTube: Academic Thick, Travis Harris, and Zors. Thank you guys so much for the incredible support. I really appreciate it, and it does go a long way. So again, thank you guys so much for continuing to generously support the channel as you have.